reading out of the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1 from the top. And it reads, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." Because this is going into this pending judgment day, okay? E-Day or Doomsday is coming to the United States of America while they celebrate 250. We don't know the day or the hour. But this global conflict, that's escalating. And ultimately, America's going to get the judgment. Okay? Verse 3 is the point. "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." First, I want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rokakadosh. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness and sincerity. Again, I'm going to say shalom. This is your brother Yahweh coming out with another video. Okay, got a full video series. Okay, before we go into these videos, we're going to post a copyright disclaimer first. Fair use disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. The copyright laws of the United States recognize a fair use of copyrighted content. Section 107 of the United States Copyright Act states, notwithstanding provisions of sections 106 and 106A, the fair use of the copyrighted work includes such use by reproduction of copies, phono records, or by any other means specified by that section for a purpose such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachings, scholarship, research, is not an infringement of copyright. Copyright disclaimer, fair use. Okay. Now, you have all this have all this talk going on right now about the deal, peace talks, and meanwhile, that war is escalating. Okay. I want to post the first video. We're going to use the Times of India and Ben Me Silas from the Midas Touch. That's my guy. I still think he's a liberal, but for the most part, he's telling the truth. Okay? So you have Iran basically attacking India with reasons why. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all be the verdict. We're gonna run this video first. We're gonna play this clip.
The world is watching a storm erupt on the high seas. And this time, the shockwaves are political, military, and deeply personal. Iran has stepped forward with a blistering accusation, directly backing India and leveling explosive charges against the United States after a series of deadly strikes on merchant ships off the coast of Oman. And the words coming out of Tehran are anything but restrained. Armed theft, maritime piracy. That is how Iran's foreign ministry is describing the United States' actions after American forces reportedly struck 3 commercial vessels carrying Indian crew members in international waters. A message delivered by Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghaei didn't just condemn the attacks, it detonated a diplomatic firestorm. He called the strikes, quote, the outcome of the U.S. government's policy of armed theft and maritime piracy. Strong words, deliberate words, words that signal something far bigger than a routine diplomatic disagreement. Because behind those statements lies a disturbing series of events. June 8th, a U.S. fighter jet targets the Marivex, a Palau-flagged oil tanker operating off Oman's coast. On board, 24 Indian seafarers. Miraculously, all are rescued. But just 2 days later, the situation turns deadly. The Setabello is struck, another tanker, another Palau flag, another crew of Indian sailors. But this time, survival comes at a devastating cost. 3 Indian nationals are killed. 3 lives lost in what Iran is now calling an unlawful act on international waters. And then, just as the world tries to process the tragedy, a third incident. June 11th, the Javir, a Guinea-Bissau flagged tanker, is struck while carrying 20 Indian crew members. Washington claims the vessel was involved in transporting Iranian oil and allegedly ignored instructions. But Tehran says something far more serious is unfolding, a pattern of aggression that threatens the very foundations of global maritime law. Iran didn't stop at condemnation. It extended condolences. It addressed India directly, and it issued a warning to the international community that silence now could normalize what it calls unlawful behavior at sea. Baghali's message was sharp and strategic. He declared that the United States must be held accountable for actions that, in his words, threaten global peace and endanger freedom of navigation. Meanwhile, back in New Delhi, outrage is growing. The Indian government has condemned the attacks and summoned a senior American diplomat, demanding answers over the deaths of its nationals and the repeated targeting of Indian crewed vessels. India's foreign ministry spokesman Rundhir made it clear, these attacks must cease and end, a direct call for restraint and a return to diplomacy before the situation spirals further out of control.
Okay, and you know, the president, he keeps singing this song about we got the deal, we have the deal, and truth be told, excuse me, there is no deal, okay? You're gonna see that later. There's no deal. There's war. It's just war. This guy's manipulated the markets. It's a campaign of lies. And this war, as I said earlier, this war is only going to escalate. Right? So the next video clip, Iran, apparently they've already cut deals. Let me run this one. It appears Russia has armed them with fighter jets. That video is roughly just 3 minutes. I'm gonna run that one real quick.
Tehran is radically accelerating its conventional military buildup, bypassing prolonged factory lines to get advanced Russian hardware into the air as its multi-front regional conflict intensifies. The Military Mirror, quoting Russian defense sources, has reported that the Iranian Ministry of Defense finalized a major contract to procure a battalion's worth of 12 Sukhoi Su-30S M2 heavy fighter aircraft from Russia. To maximize deployment speed, while Iran remains locked in open hostilities with the United States and regional adversaries, including Israel and the UAE, the aircraft are being bought second-hand. These jets have accumulated very few flight hours on their airframes, allowing Russia to begin deliveries in mid-2027 and completely hand over the entire fleet by the end of that year. The Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force has kept one of the most antiquated fighter fleets in the world, flying through extensive reverse engineering. The backbone of their force remains Vietnam War-era F-4D/E Phantoms and F-5E/F Tiger IIs supplied by the United States back in the 1970s. While Iran has managed to execute deep penetration strikes into heavily defended Gulf airspace using these obsolete airframes, the aging fleet faces critical structural fatigue. The introduction of the Sukhoi Su-30S M2 is a masterclass in cost-effective fleet integration, leveraging complete mechanical commonality with Russia's top-tier interceptors. The Su-30S M2 shares the exact same AL-41F1S engine as the single-seat Su-35, significantly reducing the logistical burden of spare parts and maintenance crews. This fast-tracked deal strongly indicates that Iran is building a multi-tiered, mixed fleet. The twin-seat configuration of the incoming Sukhoi Su-30S M2s make them perfect operational conversion trainers to prepare Iranian pilots for the 48 to 64 Su-35s currently scheduled for delivery. Furthermore, following official announcements from Rosabaranexport that multiple Middle Eastern states have signed contracts for the fifth-generation Su-57 stealth fighter, intelligence circles widely assess Iran as the primary mystery client. Even with antiquated 1970s jets, Iranian pilots have previously exposed critical blind spots in Western-designed regional air defenses. By introducing highly maneuverable modern heavy fighters packed with electronic warfare countermeasure suites and long-range precision-guided munitions, Tehran is poised to completely rewrite the balance of air power across the Gulf.
Okay, so Russia has definitely they've definitely been in support of Iran. So it's China, North Korea, okay. Ultimately, all the nations are going to align themselves with this BRICS, or this multipolar world against America, okay. The prophecy of Revelation 17, it only grows closer, right? So you see that setup. I'm praying we don't have to wait for next year, according to that video. They're talking about they're going to have these extra fighter jets, but we'll see. So the next clip is another 3-minute clip just showing the damage that's happening right now. While America keeps selling this lie under this regime, talking about the deal, and there's all-out war. So according to this clip, you're going to see how severe this war is getting. So we're going to run that real quick.
Israel's northern border town of Metula as piercing warning sirens shattered the air, sending residents scrambling for cover amid fears of a Hezbollah drone incursion from Lebanon. What began as an ordinary day quickly descended into chaos, with tensions surging and nerves fraying as the threat loomed overhead.
The sudden alert transformed the quiet frontier town into a scene of fear and uncertainty, underscoring the ever-present danger along one of the region's most volatile borders.
The Israel Defense Forces on Telegram issued a statement, and I quote, "Following the sirens that sounded a short while ago regarding a hostile aircraft infiltration in the area of Metula, the Israeli Air Force intercepted a UAV identified in the area in which IDF soldiers are operating in southern Lebanon. Missile and rocket alerts were activated due to the interception attempts." The Hezbollah attack took place a day after Israel carried out airstrikes on Nabatea in southern Lebanon.
Strikes hit several areas in South Lebanon on Thursday as hostilities escalated across the region. For a second day, U.S. and Iran exchanged fire following President Donald Trump warning that Tehran would pay the price for what it says are stalled negotiations. Meanwhile, here in the south of Lebanon, strikes continued overnight and into this morning. In towns like Merjayoun and Lay'a, meanwhile, the war's impact is stark. Streets are nearly deserted, with only a few cars passing and a handful of people walking. Some shops remain open, but every few meters, a destroyed building or a burned out car is a reminder of the danger. Christian families who chose to stay live in constant fear, many too afraid to even step outside for basic errands. The war between Israel and Hezbollah that erupted in March has forcibly displaced about 1 million people and killed over 3,500.
On Wednesday, an Israeli drone strike killed 2 people in the southern Lebanese city of Sidon, according to local media. Lebanon's state-run national news agency said the drone strike hit a car that had 2 people inside it. The continued violence comes despite a shaky ceasefire agreement agreed upon on June 3rd, following negotiations in Washington, D.C., involving Lebanon, Israel, and the United States. Amid the halt in fighting between the United States and Iran after a brief exchange in fire, Israel warned that the IDF would hit Tehran with full force if attacked again.
We must not think the work is done. The campaign against Iran is far from over. If Iran attacks Israel, it will suffer a heavy blow, just as we did a few days ago. The Israel Defense Forces are prepared to strike Iran with great force. Yesterday, the Israel Defense Forces evacuated a Christian neighborhood and struck Hezbollah terrorists who had taken shelter there, as they always do, embedding themselves among the civilian population as human shields. Of course, the residents will now return to their homes. We continue to strike Hezbollah terrorists everywhere for the sake of the security of the northern communities and the state of Israel. And we flatly reject Iran's threats and its attempt to link the fronts.
Okay, and based on this account, that's also going into, Hezbollah, war in the Israelis. Okay, and you look at the end of that video, and the men of Marshal Yashala and all the camps round about teaching a similar doctrine. We've been telling y'all, if the Israelites were in power, this world will be in peace. Okay, that's Isaiah 2 and 4, Micah 4 and 3. Okay, that prophecy never happened, and the more and more these people fight, the more and more they prove they're not the children of Israel. Okay, let's get a quick precept. Revelations 2 and 9. Okay, because it's very obvious today who the children of Israel are versus the setup by your elite families and their forever war agenda. And this forever war is going to backfire on them. And as I said, for the third time, America is going to get hit in judgment. And it's going to burn by ICBM nuclear destruction. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Since their establishment to now, where's the peace on the earth? Because they're not the people. It's just that. That's not hate speech. That's anti-nothing. The reality shows from February 28, 2026 to today, there's nothing but bloodshed and killing going on, and that's current. While America celebrates 250. And I told some colleagues, what the hell are they celebrating? How to keep their workers forever taxed and having the money go to forever wars. That's where this is going. And prophetically, the true children of Israel are going to be delivered, and the elites, they're going to be destroyed. And the children of Edom, they're going to be destroyed. Okay? Final clip. We got a 4-minute video from the Midas Touch from Ben Mealy Silas, if I said that right. Okay, I had a lot of updates on my phone today. It's roughly 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, the deal, we have a deal. They're gonna make the deal. We hurt them badly. All this nonsense this administration does. This administration lie, lie, lie. There's no deal. So I'm gonna let Ben give you the details. I'm gonna run this clip.
Donald Trump looked absolutely awful. His hands were bandaged as he had an absolute disaster. Moments ago in the Oval Office, he proclaimed that he did a deal with Iran. It's over, that J.D. Vance and others would go to Europe to sign a peace deal. He said he admits to market manipulation. The stock market loves it. The stock market loves it, everybody. What a stunning admission. And he says, we're done because the markets love what we're doing now. Anyway, here, play this clip.
Great settlement of the war with Iran. And we're going to be subject to finalization of documents, which should get done over the next few days. We'll probably have a signing maybe in Europe. And it's a great thing. Stock market's up 1,000 points. That means they like the deal. See, that means they like the market goes down. That means they don't like the deal. But it's been up. Oil's dropped. Oil will start coming down to, I think, even lower than it was before.
Then he lies and says, and look, the Strait of Hormuz, it's been open for months anyway. So we won months ago. We're now just juicing the market a little bit. Watch what he says, essentially. Let's play this clip.
It's going to get signed. And the Strait is open. But the Straits have been open for a number of months already, and you just didn't know about it. You know, you as reporters weren't able to get it. I just announced yesterday that we brought a lot of ships through, and nobody knew about it. I guess we did a pretty good job, Peter, right? But we brought many ships across, and millions, hundreds of millions of barrels of oil were brought across.
Mr. President,
and there wasn't a thing that anybody could have done about that.
So then a reporter said, well, you said before that Iran and the United States were close to a deal. So what's different about it now? And he's like, they took a pounding. Courageously, they took a pounding, and now they want to make a deal because of what just went down. Okay, let's play it.
Now, you have said before that Iran and the United States were close to a deal. It has not happened yet. Why are you so convinced that this time is different?
Because they've taken a pounding. They've taken a pounding like very few people could take, and they want to make the deal a lot more than I do. And we could have had it done the other way, I guess, but it would have taken longer. They got hit very hard recently, as you know. And I don't like to have to do things that way, but I felt it was necessary. It's a great deal for the United States and for the Middle East, and I think ultimately great for Iran because they'll be able to build up their country and other countries. I really believe it's a regime change because I find these people to be much more rational than the...
All right, so what's your deadline for getting a deal done? No deadlines. No deadlines. Soon, but no deadlines. But this is super real this time. Not like the 38 other times where I've done this. This one is for real because the markets love it, he says. Let's play this clip.
It's a great deal because they will never have a nuclear weapon.
Mr. President, is there a specific amount of time that has to pass between this memorandum of understanding and a final deal being done?
Well, we hope it's going to go relatively quickly, but it's...
Is there a 60 or 90
I mean, the
day
Straits are
deadline?
going to open immediately. It's upon signing. Maybe it'll be Saturday or Monday.
Or is there a deadline, though, to get from this to a final deal?
We think it's going to go pretty quickly. I don't want to say a deadline because if I say a deadline, you'll say, oh, he didn't meet the deadline. You know, this is like, it's not going to matter much because it's going to get signed. And the Strait is open. But the Straits have been open.
Meanwhile, Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson said Iran has not yet reached a final decision on the agreement. The Ayatollah has not yet blessed this deal.
Okay. So there it is. There's no deal on the table. The truth is this administration is in panic mode. They have choked, cost of global famine, fertilizer, oil crisis, and America's hegemony is broken. But ultimately, America is going to go down. Let's get the classic in Matthew 24, because we're in a time of war. We're in a time of war. So we're going to get the classic in Matthew 24. Okay? Shalom to the children of Israel, 12 tribes scattered abroad. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Matthew 24, and I want verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. You have national phenomenons. Even here in New York, okay, I'm outside New York City, obviously. Okay. In New York, you have an NBA finals that's still going on, and it appears New York could close this out in the midst of all these little parties going on in New York City. Okay, these gatherings for the game going on. You have all these rogue groups just causing total chaos. Okay, I'm in the Times Square area, and there's a Five Guys. I won't post this video. I'm not going to post it. I'm just going to talk about it. It's all over social media and the news, though. Yeah, young thugs just go inside of a Five Guys and just cause mayhem. That's all over social media. And, you know, it's just the Lord showing it's just that spirit of chaos and judgment on this earth. It's a lot of violence. It's just a lot of violence continuing in this New York City and this world round about. So the Lord is judging this place. Mass judgment on all levels is just spreading throughout this planet because the Lord is visiting this earth. Okay, so you had that, and this global conflict, that's only going to increase. So let's go to the Apocrypha. It'll be a short video. Okay, I'm not gonna make this long, but let's get 2nd Ezra's. For old time's sake, let's go back to 2nd Ezra's 9. Because we're at the end. This is the end of the white supremacist rulership of the earth, okay? 2nd Ezra's 9 and 1. It's one of my favorites right here. It says, he answered me and said, measure thou the times diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's why you have so much violence on this earth. The Most High is visiting this wicked kingdom. Okay? The Lord is visiting this place, and everyone believed in a sweet white man Jesus, okay? A damn caveman with rags that's going to bring joy to all people, kindreds, and tongues. Believing in that foolishness, that's not going to happen. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he's coming to destroy this wicked kingdom and wicked, unbelieving Israelites, okay? Let's read on. 2nd Ezra 9 and 3. Therefore, when these shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, okay, and you're seeing that with the war, protest, okay, rogue, just rogue agents causing destruction throughout New York City in the heat of this NBA Finals, okay. It says, verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. You have a lot of racism, white supremacist teachers out there trying to lie and teach the 12 tribes are found in Europe. Okay? I have a Rumble exclusive. I'll post just a picture. I have a Rumble exclusive that's going up on Rumble. Probably tomorrow night. I'm gonna post a Rumble exclusive, and this is chiefly for Rich Tidwells, the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. I'm not posting that video on YouTube, but a Rumble exclusive is going up. If it be of the Lord, tomorrow, okay? It'll be up tomorrow at after sundown, if it be of the Lord. Let's read on, okay? 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 6. Well, we're going to read verse 5 again, because we are living in the end. For like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, okay? Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders, in powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. The reason why I went back to 2nd Ezra 9. 2nd Ezra 9, one of the signs, the warning signs. And it's a bunch of warning signs to show we are in the very last days, man. Okay? White supremacist teachers like Rich Tidwells and these elites that run this earth, they're going to be confounded on the day of the Lord. Okay? And for all these Ku Klux Klan and pastors similar to Rich Tidwells and vocab, the scriptures make it very plain, okay, that the Israelites were scattered among the people. There's no breakdown or precepts found in the scriptures to say they will be found in the collective area, biblically. So that lets you know Rich Tidwell don't know up from down or left from right. He's lying and he's being a deceiver. Okay? Let's carry on. 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 8. Actually, I want verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. Verse 8. Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Let's get a precept in John, St. John the 17th chapter. Okay. The elect. This is talking about the elect. We want John 17. John 17, St. John chapter 17 and verse 21. We're going to start here. John 17 and verse 21 reads, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. And that world is dealing with the Israelites, as Isaiah 45:17 and John 3:16. Okay, that's not talking about Ku Klux Klan. Okay, that's not talking about white supremacy that took this world over in darkness, destroying this kingdom and trying to claim the new world to come while they continue to destroy this side. It won't work. Okay? Let's go up a few verses. Let's go up to 16. Actually, we're going to go up to 14. It says, John 17 and 14, it says, I have given them thy word, and the world had hated them. And that cuts John 2:16 right there, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. And who's doing the oppression right now on the entire earth? Racism, white supremacy, man. So the Most High of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he's going to destroy racism, white supremacy, chiefly. And the other nations, they're going to have to get in line. Okay, and they're going to serve the Israelites forever. Okay. Verse 16 from the top, it says, they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. 17, it says, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Okay. So the Most High, just based on these passages, precepts, the Lord is coming to save the elect. Salvation is for the 12 tribes of the children of Israel scattered abroad. All the nations. Okay. That's who salvation is allotted for. Let me see if there's anything else, any verses I left before I conclude. Okay, I didn't want it to be too long today. Let's get together, and I'm winding down. Okay. Stay up on this global news. There's conflict. Okay, there is no peace. There is no deal. And sudden destruction is going to suddenly fall upon the United States of America and its ally in the Middle East. God's going to destroy the rulers of this earth, and Christ, the prophets, the angels, and chief of the 12 tribes, is going to reign on this earth in righteousness forever. That's what we're praying for. We're going to hear. And this is what's required of new Israelites been in the truth 14, 15, 20, 30 plus years. We have to gather. Okay? In humbleness, sincerity, and truth, but we have to gather. Right? Zephaniah 2 and 1, it reads, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Verse 3, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Okay. There's another account, Psalms 91. Okay. You putting that, let's get that. Let's get Psalms 91. I promise I'm winding down. Let's get Psalms 91. I don't want to quote it. I'm going to read it. Right? He that dwells in a secret place. Got it. Psalms 91, it says, he that dwelled in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This is dealing with the protection of the elect children of Israel, government body and remnant body. Verse 2, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Okay. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. That's dealing with them nuclear bombs falling on New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Houston, every major city in America. Okay, that's what that's talking about. Verse 4, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Okay. Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Okay, that arrow is dealing with the nuclear missiles, right? Okay, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasted at noonday. And that destruction will be the end of America and racism, white supremacy. And with that, you're going to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth in humbleness and sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. We got next. Shalom, family.